Welcome, lesson number 11 takes us into commas, part 3. Again, just to review, commas give us headaches because, well, we were told to breathe, and that's not really the best advice in the world. We've already talked about rigid rules, and we talked about flexibility of language. But again, the thing to remember with commas is always that the rules are pretty steadfast. They don't bend and they don't break. So commas are pretty versatile though. We use them in a lot of different places. We've already talked about coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions. This week we talk about prepositional phrases. So, here we go. Commas part 3, prepositional phrases. So commas are used to set off a prepositional phrase. So first thing you might be asking is, what is a prepositional phrase? Well, it uses a preposition. So usually what this means is that if we're starting a sentence with a preposition, then we're using a prepositional phrase. So we sometimes see prepositional phrases at the end of sentences, but we can also use them at the beginning of sentences in order to keep things interesting. So, well, there's the little circle there. It's all the good stuff after the preposition is what that prepositional phrase is. So for example, we walked on the boardwalk for over an hour. So everything that's in blue there, starting from the word on, it tells us where the walking was done, and then the for part tells us for how long. So those are both prepositional phrases. They also give us some detail and some flavor in a sentence. And by moving a prepositional phrase around, we can add some variety too. So we can say, for over an hour, we walked on the boardwalk. So again, that's kind of how we can move those things around to kind of keep our sentences interesting, kind of like we did with subordinating conjunctions. So here's the rule. When you're starting a sentence with a prepositional phrase, commas may be needed to make the sentence clear. If you don't include them, sometimes they can kind of mess some things up. So when do we need them? When don't we need them? If prepositions are used in a series, we use commas like we normally would in a series. So I went over the mountain, under the bridge, and through the forest. Look, prepositional phrases. So we use those in a series like so. If we use a preposition at the beginning of a sentence, though, you only need to use that comma if the phrase is longer than 4 words. Remember what I said about steadfast rules, rules that don't bend or break? Well, if you have more than 4 words, use a comma. If you don't, don't. That's all there is to it. So again, here's a couple of examples. 1, in time, we became good friends. Second example, over the course of several months, we became good friends. So in both of them, they say the same thing. The one is a little bit more specific, so it's a little bit longer. And because it is a little bit longer, again, we've tipped the scales on those 4 words, so we put the comma in there. But in time is only 2 words. Don't do it. Don't include the comma in there. So remember, when we're talking about prepositional phrases at the beginning of a sentence, it's 4 words. That's the key. It's the key number, 4. All right, so to review, as always, ditch the old habits. Forget that whole breathing thing. Quit doing that. Recognizing prepositions, like it says, if you see them at the beginning of a sentence, start counting those words after, up to the subject of the sentence. And then throw that comma in there if it's more than 4. If not, leave it alone. It's good. Go for it. If you don't have to use commas, don't use them, right? That is prepositional phrases.